Welcome to the next in this whiteboard series on the Reformation. Today is the first on the Swiss Reformation. Now, the first thing to know is that the Lutheran Reformation and the Swiss Reformation took place at almost the same time. But to make sense of the Swiss Reformation, we first have to understand the context of the Swiss Confederation. The Swiss Confederation began in 1291 with the union of 3 cantons, or territorial states, who came together to vow mutual protection and defense. They were joined in the 1300s by other cantons, including Zurich and Bern, and together the Confederation worked to ensure the safety and stability of the Swiss lands. Now, each canton was fairly autonomous within its own jurisdiction, but came together with the other cantons to deal with external relations, military defense, and so on. The cantons were bound together to essentially work together, but that only worked if they were coming from the same perspective. And Reformation tended to be a disruptor within this context. Some cantons went Protestant, others remained Catholic. And then there was the complexity of the mandated territories. These were territories jointly administered by the Confederation, territories that were not fully part of the Confederation. Should they be Protestant or should they be Catholic? That whole situation was a very delicate one, and you can see how Reformation might actually cause the Confederation to break apart. Now, within each of these cantons, the mode of living was very communal. Guilds were powerful. Guilds are groups of merchants or artisans who all practice the same craft. Confraternities, religious groups, were very powerful. And each of these cantons was largely run by magistrates or city councils, not by princes. That's really a difference from the Lutheran territorial Reformation. The Swiss Reformation was much more based on the model of a city, of a communal organization. Within these communities, oaths and bonds were crucial. That's what linked everyone together. You swore to uphold the rights of your community. You swore to protect it. You swore to defend it. And these oaths was what connected people to each other. Now, the Swiss, especially within the rural areas, did not have a lot of outlets for their people. And in fact, one of the biggest outlets was mercenary service. The Swiss served as troops, as fighting troops, for almost every European power at the time. They were very fine soldiers. The mercenary service was quite lucrative for the mercenary captains, who recruited them and got bonuses for all the men they recruited. But obviously for the mercenaries themselves, the job could be quite dangerous. And one example, for instance, is the Battle of Marignano in 1515, which was dreadful in terms of the number of deaths on both sides of the Swiss mercenaries. The Swiss reformer, Huldrych Zwingli, was actually a chaplain at the Battle of Marignano, and his experience of these tremendous losses turned him against the whole concept of mercenary service. The Swiss church in the Reformation period, or before the Reformation, was really known for significant aspects of Catholic practice, and many of these caused questions and controversies. The celibacy of clergy was one. The practice of fasting was another. Prayers to the saints was a third. And the role of images in churches was a fourth. All of these were increasingly questioned by people at the time. And then finally, one aspect of Zurich in particular to know about is the crucial role of the Fraumünster. The Fraumünster is one of the churches of Zurich. In the early 16th century, it was the home of a Benedictine order of nuns. And this order was very powerful within Zurich. The abbess at the Reformation was a woman called Katharina von Zimmern. Officially, she was the representative of the Holy Roman Empire in Zurich, and that abbey had the right to appoint priests and pastors around the whole Lake of Zurich. They were sort of a central player in the Catholic Church of Zurich. So for the Reformation to take place, one of the things that had to happen was that Katharina von Zimmern had to get on side.